Emily, is there a risk that oxygen is being sucked out of the room? The fact that we've got all of these mega IPOs, just tell us the numbers that you've crunched of just how significant the wall of new equity coming to this market is.
Yes, we're really in uncharted territory. Just for context, looking at the past 10 years, it's $1.5 trillion in terms of all of the US VC-backed public listings. And SpaceX alone would be greater than that decade-long figure. And in terms of the number of IPO proceeds that are being raised, SpaceX is looking at $75 billion, OpenAI and Anthropic are looking at a combined $100 billion. And that is again, greater than all the IPO proceeds that have been raised in the past decade. So really, we're in uncharted territory in terms of how gargantuan these mega IPOs are.
What I find interesting about this is it could all happen at the same time. So what Shireen did was recap what we know. The S1 is in confidentially from Anthropic. SpaceX will price June 11th, trade soon after. Maybe OpenAI goes in September. Is it possible for all of that to happen in the balance of 2026?
No, that's a really good question. And I think, like Shri mentioned, there is a lot of pent-up demand, but it's also such a big number. And I think all eyes will really be on the SpaceX IPO to see how that demand actually plays out and if it's actually has substance. Because if the SpaceX IPO flops, then potentially Anthropic might wait until later to go public until the volatility evens out. So a confidential filing is one necessary step to going public, but it's not necessarily a guarantee that it will happen in the next few months or even the next year.
What's so interesting is we're almost coming back to this circularity issue. Now, you think about how Anthropic is paying $1.25 billion per month to SpaceX for compute. Then when we really get the documented files that are currently just private to us and to the SEC at the moment, the SEC has got its hands on the filing coming from Anthropic. Eventually, when we understand them and look at them, we'll see how much they're reliant on Google or on Amazon. How much is this a worry for investors? How much could this be an impact for those VC investors who are also invested in many of the same names?
Yes, the AI cycle is so interconnected, and also on top of that, 30% of US VC-backed startups are AI native or AI adjacent. So all eyes are really emphasizing trying to see if this AI valuations and these pricings are able to be upheld, because so much of the market is interdependent and also depending on this technology to move forward and eventually become profitable. So I think this is really the big question for VC right now, and that's why there's so much emphasis on these big names and these upcoming listings.
Emily, it's more than that. It's not just the commonalities on the cap tables, SpaceX, Anthropic, OpenAI. They're all pitching the same thing. Is there any precedent in history that gives us a warning signal about that? 3 companies trying to occupy the same lane?
Oh, that's a really interesting question. And I feel like in terms of something like such a transformative technology that hasn't seen something in the public markets, I don't think we've had such a similar precedent. And that's why I think this day and age is really, really interesting to see how these mega listings will play out.